My gosh, mother-in-law, that cheap dress at Henry's funeral? Vanessa Hartley's voice pierced the memorial hall's quiet like a dagger. It's shameful. You look like a nobody. Eyes fixed on me. My simple black dress, chosen for elegance, appalled her. She didn't know it cost $80,000. Vanessa, stop, Daniel, my son, whispered tensely. But Vanessa reveled in her audience. No, Daniel, I work at Atelier Luxe. I know quality. She sneered at my dress. Bargain bin trash. No style. Her friends Leila and Emma nodded, whispering. Murmurs spread through the hall. I stayed silent, feigning hurt. Poor Henry, Vanessa mocked loudly. His widow's outfit disgraces us. My tears weren't grief, they were rage. She didn't know I owned Atelier Luxe, where she's a mere clerk. She can't afford better, Vanessa scoffed. Daniel, give her money for a decent dress. If she knew my 200 designer gowns, my vast wealth. Her firing papers were ready. Mom, she's cruel, Sophie whispered. I let Vanessa dig her grave deeper. Our kids better not be this basic, she told Daniel. Lila chimed in. Retail here too. That dress. $100 tops. My buttons cost $500 each. No class, Vanessa said. We serve elegant women. Daniel stayed silent, weak as ever. Enough, Sophie snapped. Let her, I said softly. I don't know elegance. Vanessa smirked. At least you admit it. Don't embarrass us, she added. Emma cooed. Poor thing, no money for clothes. Showing up like she's off to a thrift store, Vanessa said. Whispers grew. What a shame. My revenge would be sweet. Those flea market shoes, Vanessa pointed. My $12,000 pumps. She'd never know. I'll lend you clothes. She smirked. I've got connections. I savored the irony. Vanessa, earning pennies at my atelier, thought she could lecture me on style. At home, I shed my $12,000 pumps. Poured $5,000 Bordeaux, hiding my empire. My garage held a Bentley, Porsche, Mercedes. My secret study had Vanessa's file, tardiness, complaints. I called Clara, my HR head. Vanessa Hartley's performance, I said. Disrespectful. Prepare her termination. Clara nodded. Documents ready. Soon, I said. The perfect moment. Vanessa strutted into Atelier Luxe, bragging on her phone about my sad look. My boss loves me, she lied, ignoring clients. I entered in a Chanel suit, subtle power. Eleanor, she gasped. Here to shop. Daniel gave you pocket change. She smirked, showing me sale scarves I designed. Vanessa, the manager called. Mrs. Whitmore's waiting. She rushed upstairs. Clueless I was Mrs. Whitmore. Her file complaints, footage sealed her fate. The irony was delicious. Vanessa Hartley, a $3,000 a month clerk at my Atelier Luxe, offered to lend me dresses. Clueless I signed her paychecks. Her arrogance at Henry's funeral stung, but I relished the secret. That's kind, Vanessa, I said, voice trembling, hiding my rage. No trouble, she smirked, fake kindness oozing. It's Christian charity. Decent people help the needy. Her friends, Leila and Emma, nodded like loyal followers. Leila cooed. You're an angel, Vanessa. Aiding someone so limited. Limited. My empire spanned 17 ateliers, 3 factories. A fortune over $100 million. My closet held 200 designer gowns, each a silent rebuke. Vanessa faced the Memorial Hall crowd, voice booming. This teaches us all embrace education, ambition, not mediocrity. Soft applause crowned her. My husband's funeral now, her stage. Poor Henry, she sighed, theatrical. He worried Eleanor couldn't cope without him. She was half right. Henry feared my kindness was weakness. Eleanor, don't let anyone trample you, he'd warned. That day had come. I drove home in my old Honda Civic, a deliberate facade. My garage hit a Bentley, Porsche, Mercedes S. At my modest apartment, I slipped off $12,000 pumps. Poured $5,000 Bordeaux, far from the boxed wine I feigned. My phone rang. Sophie, my daughter. Mom, Vanessa was vile today, she said, voice heavy. I'm used to it, I replied, weary, keeping my wealth secret. It's wrong, Mom. At Dad's funeral, Sophie pressed. I'll confront Daniel tomorrow. No, don't, I said. I don't want trouble. But trouble was brewing. Vanessa didn't know her job hung by a thread. In my hidden study, behind a secret bookshelf, I reviewed her file. Tardiness, complaints, arrogance. Perfect, I called Clara, my HR director. Mrs. Whitmore, my condolences, she said softly. Thank you, Clara. Review Vanessa Hartley's performance. She's disrespectful, I added. I won't tolerate it. Disciplinary action, Clara asked, sensing my tone. Prepare everything, I said. We'll wait for the right moment. My secret study held my empire's truth. Contracts for 17 ateliers, 3 factories, millions in wealth. Vanessa's file detailed her failures. 3 tardiness warnings, 2 customer complaints, smug attitude. I smiled, sipping Bordeaux. Her humiliation of me at Henry's funeral was her undoing. Clara's call would come soon, and Vanessa's world would crumble. She'd learn the cost of mocking Eleanor Whitmore. At Atelier Looks, Vanessa strutted, phone in hand, bragging about my pathetic funeral look. My boss loves me, she lied, ignoring clients. Promotion's mine. I entered, Chanel's suit, radiating quiet power. Eleanor. She sneered. Here with Daniel's spare change. She showed me sale scarves, my own designs with a smirk. Vanessa, the manager called. Mrs. Whitmore's waiting. She rushed upstairs, unaware I was her boss. Her fate sealed. Prepare everything, Clara. We'll strike at the right moment. I hung up, sinking into my Italian leather chair, replaying the day. Vanessa's humiliation at Henry's funeral was just the start. She'd picked a fight with the wrong woman. Henry always said I was too kind. Eleanor, some see kindness as weakness. He'd warn, you must show them the difference. For 40 years, he was my shield, my silent partner. We built an empire in secret, posing as middle class. Now, without Henry, I'd face vipers like Vanessa with my own strength. A 70-year-old with 50 years of business savvy. While Vanessa bragged online about her charity toward me, I sat in my executive office, reviewing Atelier Looks's numbers. My assistant, Stella, loyal for 20 years, brought coffee and reports. Mrs. Whitmore, monthly figures, she said, setting them on my mahogany desk. How's the downtown atelier? I asked. Strong sales, new collections, thriving, Stella replied. But issues with staff. Tell me. Vanessa Hartley's been rude to clients, judging their wealth. My daughter-in-law, driving away my customers with her arrogance. More, I pressed. Security footage shows her on her phone, tardy, snapping photos with unsold stock. Each word sealed her fate. Stella, schedule a Friday meeting with downtown management. Reason? She asked. I smiled. First since Henry's death, personnel changes. The week unfolded like a dance of hypocrisy. Vanessa flaunted her generosity, offering me clothes, connections. Wednesday, Daniel called. Mom, Vanessa said she's helping with your wardrobe. She's kind, I said, playing meek. Dad handled money, so it must be tough, he said. Ironic, my safe could buy his house. I'll manage with Henry's pension, I replied. Sure. Vanessa says your place and clothes are basic. She's right, I said, biting back a laugh. She knows fashion, works at an elite atelier, Daniel boasted. If he knew I was her boss. She's talented, I murmured. She's up for junior manager, he said. No, she wasn't. Clara confirmed no promotion. Vanessa was lying to impress him. I'm happy for her. I lied. When she's promoted, we'll help you shop, he said. His blindness to her cruelty stung. How had I raised such a naive son? Thanks, Daniel, I said, hanging up. I called Stella. Any promotion rumors for Vanessa? None, she said. Her supervisor's eyeing probation for her attitude. Perfect. Reports ready. Yes, ma'am. My study held Vanessa's file. Complaints, tardiness, arrogance. I dialed Clara Vanessa's performance. I said, disrespectful. Prepare her termination. Understood, Clara replied. Vanessa's lies would unravel soon. Her funeral spectacle was her downfall. At Atelier Looks, Vanessa boasted on social media. Helping my poor mother-in-law, she posted, ignoring clients. I entered, Chanel suit subtle but powerful. Eleanor, she scoffed. Shopping with pennies. She showed me my own scarves, smirking. Mrs. Whitmore's waiting. The manager called. Vanessa hurried off. Clueless I was her boss, her end near. Client complaints, security footage. Staff reports all, damning Vanessa Hartley. Excellent, Stella, I said. One more task. Investigate Vanessa and Daniel's finances discreetly, income, debts, everything. Stella nodded, no questions asked. After 20 years, she knew my reasons. Thursday's report was a goldmine. Vanessa and Daniel lived beyond their means. Their $3,500 a month. Apartment 8, Vanessa's Atelier Looks salary. Credit card debt topped $40,000. A car loan hit $22,000. They'd begged a salary advance last month. Best of all, they applied for a $250,000 mortgage. Banking on Vanessa's imminent promotion. A dream house built on lies, destined to collapse. Friday came fast. I donned a sleek Chanel suit, Mikimoto pearls, gleaming, understated, yet elite. At 10 a.m., I entered my Atelier Looks, my domain. Good morning, Mrs. Whitmore. Diane, my supervisor, greeted softly. Managers await you, upstairs. I glided through, noting the staff's professionalism. Except one. Vanessa lounged at the counter, laughing into her phone. Uniform wrinkled, makeup garish, ignoring a waiting client. Girl, my mother-in-law's pathetic, she cackled. Daniel says, we'll take her shopping when I'm promoted. Teaching a 70-year-old to dress? Hilarious. She bragged, I run the city's top atelier. My boss loves me. Junior manager next week. Lies on lies. She wore a Burlington rag to Henry's funeral, she sneered. I was mortified for her. The client walked away, annoyed. Vanessa rambled, she thinks that dress was elegant. Clueless old lady. I approached, voice soft. Excuse me. Vanessa turned, startled, not expecting me in such finery. Eleanor here, she said, annoyed, covering her phone. I'm shopping, I said innocently. Daniel gave me money. Her eyes lit up, eager to patronize. Gotta go, she told her friend, saving my mother-in-law from embarrassment. She hung up, scanning me with disdain. Okay, Eleanor, what's your budget? Things aren't cheap here. Not like your thrift store haunts. Daniel gave me $500. I lied. She laughed. $500? That's earrings, maybe. Let's find something for your limited means. She led me to the sale scarves, the atelier's cheapest corner. These are $200, but pretty, she said, smirking. They'll add class to your sad style. She held up a silk scarf, my own design with condescension. My smile hid my plan. Vanessa's file complaints tardiness was ready. I called Diane. Ensure all evidence is prepped. Termination, she asked. Soon, I replied, savoring Vanessa's impending fall. Her lies and cruelty would cost her everything. At Atelier Looks, Vanessa's phone rants continued. Mocking my cheap funeral look, neglecting clients. I entered, pearls gleaming, power subtle. Eleanor, still here? She scoffed, showing me my scarves. Mrs. Whitmore's waiting. Diane called. Vanessa hurried off, unaware I was Mrs. Whitmore. Her career's end looming in my office. This is true elegance, not your usual rags, Vanessa sneered, holding a scarf from my last spring collection. I'd overseen every stitch. It's lovely, I said, feigning awe. Right? She boasted. My eye for qualities, why I'll be promoted. Vanessa paled. My boss is here. Yes, Diane said. Go now. Panic flickered in Vanessa's eyes, but I'm with a client. I'll handle her, Diane said smoothly. Vanessa glared at me. Eleanor, I'll be back to fix your style. Of course, dear, I replied, voice soft. She hurried upstairs. Clueless, she faced her professional ruin. I lingered, savoring the irony. Diane, my trusted supervisor, whispered, her performance, ma'am. Perfect, I said. More lies. Let's keep shopping for me, I suggested. Sure, Vanessa smirked. As manager, I'll set a client dress code. What kind? I asked. No riffraff in cheap clothes, she said. This is Atelier Luxe, not a thrift store. Her words dripped with disdain. If someone doesn't fit, I'll send them to budget shops. It keeps real clients comfortable, she added. Bold plan, I murmured. My boss will love it, Vanessa boasted. Maybe a bonus. She led me to my priciest dresses, my own creations. These are stunning, Eleanor. But way above your budget, $5,000 to $15,000. She held up a champagne gown, hand-embroidered, my favorite. This is haute couture. I got one free from a client. A lie, gifts were forbidden, and I tracked all sales. Gorgeous, I said, touching the fabric. Not for you, she sneered, steering me to clearance racks. Here's a $400 gray dress, perfect for your age. It was my discontinued design, subpar quality. What do you think? I asked. Honestly, it's basic, but fine for you, she said. You lack the figure for our exclusive pieces. Her cruelty stung, not for my ego, but for tainting my atelier's values. Vanessa, I said, you're right about my style. She grinned, admitting it's a start. But what if someone poor-looking was secretly rich? I asked. How should you treat them? Vanessa laughed. That's movie nonsense. Rich people don't dress like you. They flaunt wealth with jewelry, luxury cars. Smart reasoning, I said. That's why I'm great here, she bragged. I read people, know who can afford what. Stella, my assistant, entered discreetly. Mrs. Whitmore, they're waiting upstairs, she said, smiling. Vanessa frowned. Who are you? Mrs. Whitmore's assistant, Stella replied calmly. What's Eleanor got to do with her? Vanessa snapped. Stella glanced at me. I nodded. Your mother-in-law is Mrs. Whitmore, owner of Atelier Luxe. Vanessa's face drained of color, her grip tightening on the counter. What? She stammered, voice shaking. That's not true. You heard me, Stella said, composed. Eleanor Whitmore founded this empire. Vanessa's shock froze her, eyes wide with panic. I smiled, calm. We'll talk soon, Vanessa. Her career's end was moments away, my power unveiled. Her lies, her cruelty all documented, ready to bury her. In the office, managers awaited with Vanessa's file. Complaints, footage, her smug dismissal of clients. I entered, Chanel suit commanding silence. Mrs. Whitmore, Vanessa gasped, trembling. Her world collapsed as I laid out her fate. Vanessa spun to face me, eyes wide. No, it can't be. You live in that tiny apartment, drive that old Civic. My $80,000 dress, I said calmly, from Henry's funeral. 80,000, she echoed, stunned. And my $12,000 pumps you called flea market trash. She gasped. I've worked for you 2 years. Yes, I said. With multiple complaints. Stella pulled a folder. Read them, ma'am. Please, I said. Vanessa needs to hear. She slumped into a chair, dazed. March 15th, Stella began. Vanessa ignored a client, judging her too poor for atelier looks. No, that's not. April 22nd, Stella continued. Treated a 60-year-old with contempt. Pushing clearance items, ignoring her budget. Vanessa's face paled with each report. May 8th, on her phone 2 hours, neglecting customers. I can explain, Vanessa stammered. Explain what? I asked, voice steady but firm. Humiliating me at Henry's funeral. Or judging people by their looks. Tears streamed down her face. Mrs. Whitmore, I didn't know. That's the issue, I said, stepping closer. Your kindness hinges on wealth. What would you have done if you knew who I was? I wouldn't have shown your true cruelty, I cut in. You mocked the mother of the man you love. She sobbed harder. Please, I respect you. Like when you said I lacked the figure for quality clothes. Employees gathered, sensing the drama. Last report, Stella, I said. Today, she read. Vanessa disparaged a client, her family, violating privacy and professionalism policies. And lied about a promotion, I added. For a $250,000 mortgage. Vanessa's head snapped up. How do you know? I know everything about my staff, especially family. Stella continued. Debts over $60,000. Expenses triple income. Unreported salary advances. Unreported, I echoed. You lied on company documents. Please, I needed the money, she pleaded. To fake a lifestyle you can't afford, I said, voice icy, while mocking my supposed poverty. The irony was perfect. Vanessa, the mocker, was broke. I'm not upset you didn't know me, I said. I'm upset you humiliated a widow at her husband's funeral. Vanessa's sobs echoed as employees watched, stunned. Her career was over, her lies exposed. I nodded to Stella. Send her termination notice. Immediately, Stella replied, handing me the papers. Vanessa's cruelty met my empire's justice. In the days following, Daniel called, apologetic. Mom, I didn't know, he said. Vanessa's devastated. She'll learn, I said, firm but kind. My atelier thrived, led by loyal staff like Mia. While Vanessa faced the cost of her arrogance, your respect hinges on clothing prices, I said, voice icy. That's your true character, Vanessa. I turned to Stella. Documents ready. Yes, Mrs. Whitmore, she replied, handing me a folder. Vanessa's eyes widened, terror mounting. What documents? Your termination papers, I said. Effective immediately. No, she cried. I need this job debts, payments, our house. The house you planned with a fake promotion, I countered. Please, Mrs. Whitmore, I'll change, she begged. You're 32, Vanessa, I said. If you lack basic respect now, you won't learn. But I'm your daughter-in-law. That makes your cruelty worse, I snapped. Here's your termination letter. This is revenge, she sobbed. Revenge. I laughed coldly. This is policy customer mistreatment, lies, violations. But Daniel, he'll learn how you treat his mother, I said. You mocked me at Henry's funeral. I didn't know. She wailed. That's the point, I said. Your true self shows without consequences. Stella, call security to escort her out. No, Vanessa screamed, standing. It can't end like this. Family respects family, I said. You broke that. I'll change, please. She pleaded. Think of Daniel, our marriage. You ruined your marriage, I said, humiliating me at Henry's funeral. He'll hate me, she cried. He'll understand, I replied, once he sees today's recordings. Her face fell. Recordings. Every word, I said. Your insults, your lies about my clothes, my class. Stella spoke. Security's coming, ma'am. 5 minutes, Vanessa, I said. Clear your locker, return your badge. This is abuse, she shouted. Family persecution. Abuse, I said, voice hard. You humiliated a widow for sport. You have millions. She cried. I need this job. Your fault, I said. You lived beyond your means, lied about promotions. Mia approached timidly. Mrs. Whitmore, need anything? Yes, Mia, I said. Watch this. Learn why we respect all clients. Vanessa glared, seething. You'll use me as a lesson. Your behavior's a perfect example, I said, of what not to do. It's humiliating. She cried. Humiliating? I said, no humor. You mocked me at Henry's funeral. For sport, before my family, my friends. Security arrived, faces stern. Vanessa's sobs grew louder as she grabbed her things. Her disgrace was complete. My justice served. Atelier looks would thrive without her poison. Daniel called that evening, voice heavy. Mom, Vanessa's broken. Why? She disrespected me, your mother, I said. Her cruelty cost her job. He paused, stunned. I'll talk to her. Do, I said. My empire demands respect. You called me classless, a pauper, I said, voice sharp. Employees edged closer, stunned yet pleased by Vanessa's reckoning. Mrs. Whitmore, Diane said, document this for other branches. Perfect, I replied. A warning against mistreating clients. Vanessa turned to Diane, desperate. I'm a good worker. Diane's face mixed pity and disappointment. I warned you, Vanessa. You disrespected clients, especially elders. What? I asked. You thought they didn't deserve respect? I don't, Vanessa faltered, unable to justify herself. You humiliated me because I seemed powerless, I said. Security arrived. Mrs. Whitmore, escort Miss Hartley out, I ordered. She slumped toward her locker, then spun back. What'll you tell Daniel? The truth, I said. How you mocked his mother at Henry's funeral. He loves me, she cried. He won't care. He'll care about your lies, your debts, your fake promotion. She had no reply, stuffing her box in silence. I faced the staff. At Atelier Luke's, every client gets respect. Why? I asked. Mia raised her hand. It's right, and we don't know who they are. Exactly, I said. Like me today, or anyone who walks in. Stella approached. Meeting with Daniel this afternoon, ma'am? Yes, I said. He needs the truth. Vanessa overheard, rushing forward. Don't tell him. I'll explain. With more lies? I asked. About your cruelty. Your debts. I'll tell him everything, she pleaded. Too late, I said. You lied for 2 years, even after the funeral. Guards escorted her out. She turned, yelling, This isn't over. Please try, I said calmly. Defamation, fraud, hostile workplace. I've evidence for years in court. Her face paled as guards led her away. Silence fell. Employees stared awed and wary. We've learned something today, I said. Diane, start replacing Vanessa. Rigorous interviews, focus on values. Yes, Mrs. Whitmore, Diane replied. And promote Mia, I added. Her professionalism shines. Mia blushed, smiling. Thank you, Mrs. Whitmore. More responsibility comes with it, I warned. Daniel arrived, face pale. Mom, why fire Vanessa? She humiliated me at Henry's funeral, I said. Her lies and cruelty ended her career. He nodded, hurt but understanding, as I showed the recordings. Atelier looks buzzed with renewed purpose. Mia trained new hires on respect. My values thriving. Vanessa's absence strengthened our mission. While Daniel faced the truth of his wife's actions, I left Atelier looks, a hollow ache lingering. Revenge was done, but facing Daniel loomed heavy. At 5 p.m., he arrived, distraught. Mom, Vanessa's sobbing, he said. She claims you got her fired. Sit, Daniel, I said. This changes everything. He sank onto the sofa, lost, a boy again. Vanessa said you own her boutique, he said. Impossible, right? I took a breath. Daniel, I've hidden our wealth your whole life.
What?
I led him to my secret study, opening the hidden door. He gasped, eyes wide at the office documents, contracts, photos. What's this? Your father and I built an empire, I said. I showed him deeds for 17 ateliers, 3 factories, bank statements. We're millionaires. Daniel whispered. Yes, I said. For decades. Why hide it? To raise you and Sophie with humility, respect, real values. He slumped, stunned. Dad knew. My partner and all, I said. We chose this for you. When would you tell us? When you proved your values, I said. What's this got to do with Vanessa? I held Stella's folder. She worked at my atelier 2 years. She mistreated clients, judged them by looks. No, Daniel said, shaking his head. I showed a report. She ignored a 60-year-old, deemed her too poor. He read, frowning. A mistake. Mistakes. I pulled more. A pattern of arrogance. But why fire her? The worst, I said, was the funeral. Vanessa mocked me at Henry's funeral, I said, called me classless. A pauper shamed me before family. Daniel paled. She said she was helping. Helping, I snapped, calling me pathetic, embarrassing. I didn't know, he stammered. You didn't defend me, I said. Why? He had no answer, head bowed. Daniel's silence broke. Mom, I'll talk to Vanessa. I handed him the recordings. See her cruelty yourself. He left, shaken, promising to confront her truth. My empire stood stronger, but my heart ached for him. Atelier looks flourished, Mia leading with my values. I reflected on Henry's warning, don't be trampled. Daniel needed time, but my legacy, respect, humility would endure. I held up financial reports. Vanessa lied about a promotion. Your mortgage relied on income she'll never have. How do you know? Daniel asked, stunned. I'm a businesswoman, I said. I investigate threats. I showed him their $60,000 credit card debt. Their $3,500 apartment eating Vanessa's salary. Repeated salary advances. Daniel buried his face in his hands. Your wife faked wealth, mocked others' lack, I said. Now what? He asked. Decide who you are, I said. Can you stay with someone who shamed me at Henry's funeral? She's my wife, he said. I'm your mother, I countered, who raised you with respect. Daniel fell silent, grappling. What do you want? He asked. Choose based on truth, I said. If you stay with Vanessa, face the consequences. What consequences? Living with someone who humiliates the vulnerable. He paced to the window. My world's collapsing. Your false world, I said. Build a real one. Help me. He pleaded. If you prove you're the man I raised, I said. Tears fell. I'm sorry I didn't defend you, Mom. Step 1, I said. Step 2, decide about Vanessa. He nodded. I need time. Time's short, I warned. Some choices can't wait. 2 days later, Sophie called at 6 a.m., frantic. Mom, Daniel says you're a millionaire. Vanessa's fired. It's true, I said. Come over. 2 hours later, Sophie sat, stunned, eyeing my documents. Why hide it? She asked. To raise you with values, I said. Money corrupts. We could have had better lives, she said. Would you be you? I asked. Your teaching, your kind husband, those are your values. She paused. What about Daniel? His choice of Vanessa, I said, shows a flaw. He chased her status, thinking we lacked it. Sophie frowned. Deep, Mom. I've had 70 years to learn, I said. You'll inherit, but only if you're responsible. And if Daniel stays with Vanessa? Sophie stared at the contracts, grappling. I need to process this, she said. Take time, I said, but talk to Daniel. She left, vowing to help him see Vanessa's truth. My empire awaited their choices. I reviewed my will, ensuring Atelier Lux's values endured. Daniel texted, talking to Vanessa tonight. I smiled, ready to guide my children. My legacy rooted in respect, not wealth. My phone rang. Mrs. Whitmore, Stella said. Vanessa Hartley's here, demanding to see you. Vanessa's at the office, I asked, glancing at Sophie. She's agitated, won't leave. Want to meet your sister-in-law honestly, I asked Sophie. What's she doing? Begging for her job, I said. Come see who Daniel married. An hour later, we entered my executive office marble floors. City views, designer art. Mom, this is stunning, Sophie whispered. 40 years of work, I said. Stella met us. She's been waiting since 8 a.m., ranting about injustice. Send her in 5 minutes, I said. Sophie and I settled me at my mahogany desk, her beside me. Vanessa entered, a shadow of her funeral arrogance. Smudged makeup, wrinkled clothes, eyes hollow. Mrs. Whitmore, she began, I made mistakes, but please, I need this job. She spotted Sophie. What's she doing here? Learning your true character, Sophie said. Vanessa flushed, turning to me. I can change, I swear. Change what? I asked. My behavior at work, she said. The phone, tardiness. And the funeral. I pressed. Your husband's funeral. I tried to help your image, she stammered. Help, Sophie snapped. You humiliated Mom publicly. I was honest, Vanessa said. There's her problem, I told Sophie. No remorse. I'll take classes, therapy. Vanessa pleaded. Why? I asked. Debt's our house, she said. Daniel will hate me. Not for hurting me, I asked. Of course I feel bad, she said. When? I pressed. At the funeral, calling me classless. Or now, knowing who I am. She cried, speechless. There's the difference, I said. True remorse versus fear of consequences. Sophie stood. You called humiliating a widow a mistake. Belle, You never respected Mom, Sophie said. I pulled reports. 3 family events. You mocked my taste, home, clothes. Casual comments, Vanessa said. Revealing your disdain, I countered. She turned to Sophie. Beg your mom for another chance. Why? Sophie said. Family respects family. You didn't. I can learn. Vanessa cried. Vanessa's tears flowed, but her words rang hollow. Stella, prepare a Nori hire notice, I said. Vanessa gasped. Please, for Daniel. Daniel deserves truth, I said, unmoved. Her lies had no place in my empire. Sophie called later. Mom, I support you. Daniel's torn, but he's seeing Vanessa's flaws. I nodded, my legacy secure with Sophie's values. Ready to guide my son through his choice. At 32, Vanessa, you lack basic respect, I said. You won't learn now. Not fair, she cried. I stood, approaching her. Unfair. Humiliating a widow at her husband's funeral. Unfair that my staff endure your toxic attitude. You belittled clients for their looks, I said. She fell silent. Your behavior shows your character, I said. My character can change. She sobbed. Out of convenience, I replied. Not conviction. She broke down, tears streaming. What can I do? Be honest with Daniel, I said. Admit you married him to mold him. Tell him you saw his family as inferior, lied about your job. That's not true. Then why hide work events from him? I asked. Why not introduce me to your bosses? Silence. Why lie about a promotion? To make him proud, she whispered. By shaming his mother. She had no answer. Vanessa, I said firmly, tell Daniel the truth. My job? She asked, hopeful. You'll never work for me again, I said. But tell him for dignity's sake. What if he leaves me? His choice, I said. Based on truth. She rose, defeated. You've ruined me, Mrs. Whitmore. No, I said. You did that yourself. She left, broken. Sophie and I sat in silence. Will Daniel leave her? Sophie asked. I hope so, I said. If not, I misjudged him. That night, Daniel called, voice shattered. Mom, Vanessa confessed her lies, debts, her view of our family, and she said you weren't good enough for me, he said. My heart cracked. I'm sorry, Daniel. I failed you at the funeral, he said. I'm sorry. What now? I asked. I asked for a divorce, he said. Relief and sadness mixed. How do you feel? Devastated, but free, he said. Come tomorrow, I said. The next day, Daniel and Sophie sat in my living room. Truth unveiled after years of secrets. Mom, Daniel said, I'm sorry for not appreciating you. I'm sorry for doubting you, Sophie added. You gave us values, not money. No apologies needed, I said. You acted on what you knew. Now what? Daniel asked. Daniel vowed to rebuild, free from Vanessa's influence. Sophie pledged to support him. I smiled, my children's values shining through their pain. Atelier Lux's future was secure in their hands. I updated my will, naming Sophie and Daniel as heirs, contingent on their commitment to respect and humility. My empire would endure, a testament to Henry's and my vision. Now, I said, walking to my desk. Your inheritance. I showed them documents splitting my empire. Daniel, you get the ateliers and factories, I said. But work 5 years from the bottom. As a salesman? Yes, to learn respect, hard work, I said. He nodded. I accept. Sophie, you inherit real estate, investments, I said. Create charitable foundations for low-income children. Tears filled Sophie's eyes. Perfect, Mom. One condition for both, I said. Never use wealth to belittle anyone. Of course, Daniel said. Disrespect others, lose everything, I warned. Understood, they said together. 6 months later, Stella entered, smiling. Daniel's here. He walked in, wearing an Atelier Lux salesman's uniform. Eyes bright, smile genuine. Mom, got a minute for an employee. How's the job? I asked. Hardest yet most rewarding, he said. Yesterday, I served a widow, simply dressed. Old instincts said clearance rack, he admitted. But I treated her like royalty, showed her everything. She bought a $50 scarf, smiled like it was priceless. She felt valued, first time in years. My heart swelled. How'd that feel? Like I finally get you and Henry's lessons, he said. The funeral's pain, Vanessa's fallout was worth it. Daniel, your father would be proud, I said. Are you? Immensely, I said. He took my hands. Thank you, Mom. For what? For saving me from Vanessa, teaching me to defend those I love. Vanessa? I asked. She's at a department store, struggling, he said. I regret my blindness, not her consequences. 3 months later, Vanessa called. Mrs. Whitmore, thank you, she said. For what? For the hardest lesson, she said. Respect isn't about money. Elegance is how you treat others. I'm glad, I said. Sophie launched her first education foundation. Beaming with purpose, Daniel excelled, earning staff respect. My empire grew stronger, rooted in their values. I stood at Henry's grave, whispering, we did it. My children carried our legacy of humility. Vanessa's lesson echoed, but my focus was family, thriving. I regret the pain I caused, Vanessa said, voice trembling. I don't deserve forgiveness, but your lesson made me better. I hung up, peace washing over me. Revenge was satisfying, but true fulfillment came from safeguarding the values Henry and I built over decades. Vanessa's cruelty at his funeral had tested me, but I'd honored his warning. Don't be trampled, Eleanor. I'd stood tall, protecting Atelier Lux's heart respect, humility. That night, I watched the sunset from my office. City lights glinting below. Henry, I whispered. I defended myself. Our children will carry our legacy. Daniel had grown, serving clients with kindness, free from Vanessa's toxic influence. Sophie's foundation was uplifting children. Her heart aligned with our principles. Justice wasn't just vengeance, it was education. Vanessa learned, but my victory was my family's strength. Hey, did you love this story? I poured my heart into it, weaving Eleanor's triumph. Where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. Let's connect. If this tale of justice moved you, hit that like button, share with friends. Your super thanks keeps these stories coming. Thank you. What resonated most? Was it Eleanor's strength, Daniel's growth, or Vanessa's lesson? Tell me below. I read every comment. There's more drama on my channel, so subscribe and ring the bell for the next life story. With love and respect, see you soon. Daniel thrived at Atelier Looks, earning respect daily. He visited often, sharing stories of clients he'd uplifted. "Mom, I get it now," he said, eyes bright. "Your values shaped me." Sophie's foundation grew, funding schools for kids in need. They were proving their worth. My empire safe. Henry's spirit smiled, our lessons enduring. I walked through Atelier Looks, Mia now a manager, training staff to treat all with dignity. My legacy wasn't just wealthy, it was respect. Daniel and Sophie vowed to honor it, building a future Henry and I dreamed of, rooted in kindness, not arrogance.